Hello and welcome, I'm your CodeMonkey. In this lecture, we're going to learn how to create a custom class indexer. This is how you can access some data in your classes using an index, kind of like an array or a list. Okay, so here let's learn and build a custom indexer. Here we have a very simple player stats class. This one just stores various stats. Then up here we are just constructing it, super simple. And now let's say we want to access these player stats kind of like an array. So I want to access, for example, player stats, access it like this on index 0, and I want this to give me the strength amount. If we try doing it like this, then we have an error. It is telling us we cannot apply indexing with these square brackets. We cannot apply that to this type, the player stats. So let's build it. Now the way we do it is actually like a normal property. So let's go over here. First for our property, let's make it public. Then we can make it return anything. In this case, let's make it return int. And now here's the important part. Instead of having a name kind of like any other property, instead of that, we have to name it with the this keyword. We do that and then we add these square brackets. So basically this property is what is going to happen when we try to access this specific type using square brackets. Then inside these square brackets, we put our indexer. And for the indexer, we can use whatever type we want. Let's go with int just for simplicity, and then name like index. Yep, like this. Okay, so this is our definition. And now, just like with any other property, we can define a get and a set. So let's do a get. So get, open and close the curly braces. And then for the get, we just need to return something. So in this case, depending on the index, we want to return a different field. So let's do a super simple switch, do a switch on the index. And in case we receive 0, let's return the strength. In case we receive 1, let's return dex. And in case we receive 2, let's return wisdom. And in case we receive anything else, so on default, let's just throw a new index out of range exception. Okay, yep, just like this, we no longer have any compile errors. So we define it kind of like a property with the special keyword this. Then we put our indexer. Inside, we define the get, and we do whatever logic we want. So now here, yep, this one no longer has any error, so this one is now perfectly valid. So let's try doing a print on this. So console, let's write line, let's write our strength, and it should say 12, so let's see. And you're correct, it does say 12. So by this, we are accessing our custom player stats type, we are accessing it with a custom indexer, and everything works great. All right, awesome. So this is working, and just like with any property, we can make this read-only, meaning only define a get. Or if we want, we can make it read and write by also implementing a set. So let's do the exact same thing. So a set, just like any other property. Let's do a switch on our index. And in case we are on index 0, then let's set the strength amount equals the value that this one receives. And same thing for all the other ones. So case 1, case 2, and then the same default. And if default, let's throw an exception. Okay, yep, just like this. So now up here, let's read the player strength. And then let's write to it. Let's write something. So let's set it to like 99, and then let's read it again, and let's see. And if there it is, the first one says 12, yep, makes sense. Then we override it, and then that one prints out 99. So yep, everything works, super simple. So here we have our custom indexer. So we have a custom type, and we define this logic so we can access it using simple square brackets, and then we can run whatever logic we want to get whatever values we want. As you can see, it's really simple to build, and it lets us use our custom type kind of like it was a list or an array. However, down here, the index, this one doesn't have to be an int. You can use whatever you want. So for example, we can actually use this stat enum. So let's find a stat for a stat. Then up here, same thing, just do a different switch. And doing case on stat.strength, do something, and so on. Yep, just like this, everything works perfectly fine. We just refactored and made this one receive a stat instead of an int. So now we go up here, and instead of using an int, which, by the way, the reason why this isn't throwing an error is because every enum is automatically convertible into an int. But over here, we want to use a proper player stat. So let's use it. Let's say we're working with strength. Let's print that one out. And on this one, same thing, print the strength and print the strength. Okay, let's see. And if same thing, it does work. So over here, we can see how the indexer, the type over here can be whatever you want it to be. And yet another thing this also supports is multiple indexers. So we can add, for example, an enum and then an int for some kind of index. And if this works, this is perfectly valid code, then you can use both of these in any logic you want inside of any of these. So for example, this could be really useful if you're accessing some multidimensional data to receive an index for the x and y. Alright, so that's how you make a custom class indexer. With this, you can make your custom classes much more usable in various scenarios by making it really easy to read or write some data just as if it were a list or an array.